Ladies and gentlemen, God is holding the winds of strife just a little longer so that His obedient children can have a little more time to make preparations not only to leave the cities and head for the country, but to also prepare their hearts for His imminent return. We know there are some power-hungry politicians inspired by Satan who cannot wait to enforce draconian laws and regulations to compel the population to be inoculated. But in Revelation chapter 7, verse number 1 to 3, the Lord is also working on some politicians who still believe in God giving free will to fight for His people in these last days. Headline: DeSantis says no new lockdowns, mask mandate, or any other anti-COVID-19 measure in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis on Monday ruled out imposing any further coronavirus restrictions or a mask mandate. He said there would be no lockdowns, no fines, no school closures. No one's losing their job because of a government dictate. Nobody's losing their livelihood or their business. That is totally off the table. The governor has prevented local governments from imposing mask mandate and waive all outstanding fines for non-compliance of previously issued face covering orders. I am opposed to mandates, period. I don't think they work. The article goes on to say, he pointed to the number of cases also rising in states that had mandates. Has that worked out for the state that have done it? Has that stopped an outbreak in Minnesota, Illinois, Michigan? What about New Jersey? What about all the states where you have an explosion in cases? People in Florida wear them when they go out. They don't have to be strung up by a bayonet to do it. Fining people is totally overboard. There are some people out there calling Florida governor a bunch of inappropriate names. I am not surprised if these individuals are government dependents, sitting there waiting on government stimulus checks instead of having the freedom to work to provide for their own families. Fortunately, Florida governor is not the only one fighting to keep the federal government from imposing on their citizens. Headline: Tennessee bill would prohibit authorities from forcing COVID vaccine on someone against their will. East Tennessee Representative Bud Halsey of Kingsport proposed a bill that prohibits state and local authorities from forcing or requiring someone to receive the COVID-19 vaccine against their will. House Bill 13 is to help reassure those hesitant about taking the vaccine. Halsey told WATE a law enforcement agency or governmental entity in this state, or a local government, or the governor or chief executive of a local government by executive order shall not force, require, or coerce a person to receive an immunization or vaccination for COVID-19 against the person's will. My friends, these are great news that these governors are fighting for their people. But there is still more that needs to be done to assure the people's freedom. What about the businesses? The government's plan is to go after businesses to enforce their draconian laws upon the people. The governments are saying they will not force the people to be vaccinated, but the businesses will. Now we are told if anyone refuses to be vaccinated, they will shut you completely off society, which means no buying, no selling, no traveling, no access to anything. You can't even keep your job. That's forcing you into submission against your will. And you still believe these men in power who are lying to us from the time they announced this so-called COVID? Wake up, my friends. The whole world went on a lockdown to slow the spread of this pandemic. Did it work or change anything? No. Instead, they told us to expect a second, even a third wave of their man-made crisis. You have to be blind not to see that they are stripping away every human God-given right by using this so-called COVID-19 pandemic, COVID cases around the globe are still on the rise, even with shutting everyone in their homes. Where are these cases coming from? Look, I love every one of you. I do. But my friends, you have to wake up to see that this pandemic is made up to gain control of the people. Until they remove every bit of our rights and freedoms, they will not stop. Since the pandemic, when was the last time you've heard someone died of something else other than COVID-19? Every single person that dies is due to COVID. Does that make any sense or sound right to any of you? Look, you can choose to trust these so-called scientists who are being paid by the power that be to make you a prisoner. But as for me and my house, we will only trust and serve the Lord Jesus Christ, who gave his life that we may have one.